No, that's just how I record. That's my light, I guess. It's because it's dim in here. We used to be in there, but I changed it over here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I know. It's a little different.
Yeah. So it's just me now. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There's
a
big sound was awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see what it really like. It's like exciting.
And then after the interview, we take a picture. So I'll go to the Instagram once I get back up.
Yep. That'll work. We'll push it big too.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, great. Okay. Oh, Mark, I can start? Okay. Thank you for tuning in for another dope episode of Sippin' on No Common Sis. I'm the creator and host. This is your girl, Tiff. I apologize that we're not doing a live tonight. Facebook and Instagram is down. So I apologize on their behalf. They messing up today. Okay. They did this on purpose. They heard my special guest was coming. And they want to mess it up.
Tweaking.
Okay.
We'll manage your Facebook.
Right. You need Mark Zuckerberg. You need to fire people.
Exactly.
Okay.
Get out.
You're paying too much. Paying too much to employees.
Yeah, one job.
I know. Hire me, okay? Because I am struggling. Before we get started, I want to send out much prayer and love to my uncle. He had a stroke a couple weeks ago. I want to send love and prayer to him. Anybody that's watching, please send out prayer out to the Bird family to give him strength to regain his strength back. Yeah, and let me see. Before I introduce my special guest, I just want to say a few things. I've never met him before.
First time.
Okay, let's get that clear. I never met him before. This is a new guest for me on the show, so this is a little bit different. The people I have brought through the show, I knew. I just want to acknowledge him because he's a great mentor. He does a lot of things in the community. I just want to, this music is disturbing me. You can bring it up.
We're good.
He does a lot of great things, and I thought I should bring him on the show to have a conversation. He is a cop for the Zion, Illinois. He helps young boys find their way. You know, he's a man of faith, a man of God. I see what he's doing. Because me, I'm an observer. I observe people a lot. If they real about it or if they not. You know, I'm kind of sketchy about people. That's my little issue. But, you know, I heard great things. And when I heard my nephew, Lorian, shout out to him, say that was his mentor. I said, oh, okay. And this guy is a real deal. You know, I just want to thank him for coming tonight, being on my show, taking out the time, hanging with me, because he has a lot on his plate. He family, 5 beautiful kids, his wife, and stuff like that. And, you know, I know it's hard, especially being a cop of the community and stuff like that. So to be able to protect and serve, to come out and all this way to hang with me. So I appreciate you coming on.
No problem. I'm honored to get out of the house.
Yeah. So, why a cop? Why be a cop?
Yeah, that's a crazy question. I never imagined in a million years I'd ever be a cop.
Mm-hmm.
I was not, you know, the kids would dream about being a cop when they're little. Never was my dream. I actually hated police growing up. My generation was the Rodney King incident, and I was probably about a junior in high school when that happened, and I was right with it. I remember like rooting for like what was going on. I was so angry that they got away with this. I was really not pro cop whatsoever. And so I'm kind of unlikely to be a cop. So what had happened is it was just a simple ad in the paper. when I was grown.
Oh, okay.
I just figured it would be. I was 29 years old.
Oh wow!
I figured, you know what? I was working at a good company, but I was just bored. I'm like, a couple of my best friends were officers. I'm like, what do I have to lose? I'll take a test.
Right.
So lo and behold, they must have been desperate in
right. That's right. That's right. So, are you from around here? Originally, where you from?
I was born and raised in Winter Harbor.
Okay.
But when you're there, you go to Zion School.
Right.
And we're just Zion. I'm from Zion.
Right. Me too.
That's where you go to school at.
Right.
That's where you hang out at.
Right.
That's where I was a ball player growing up, so that's where I was all the time, every day.
Right.
Yeah. So it was Zion. I was, believe it or not, I was the starting point guard for Zion in 1993. People don't believe that when I say. I tell my kids that all the time. They laugh. I got to show them the newspaper.
I think you graduated with my sister, Lorion's mama. Okay.
Probably. But I think that actually people knew me around, and that kind of got me a little bit of good references when I tried to be a cop in Zion. I never went to college. I didn't do military. I was just a working dude, and I actually had a criminal conviction too, so that made it even harder. But the Lord wanted me here for some reason.
Right. Amen to that. So I heard your story. Can you explain to the people what got you starting this program?
The background behind it is that's where this story kind of goes right along with what we were saying. I didn't know what I was getting into becoming a cop, especially in my home city, the city that I love. Right. I hated it. Right. What can I say? I'll be 100 with you. I absolutely hated being a cop for a long time. The negativity in that job and the darkness that you see, it's mind blowing. And if you don't know how to handle that, you either take it up with the bottle, you take it up with the power and the ego that comes with being a cop. And I handled it every wrong way that you could possibly handle it. Is how I handled it, and it was destroying me. Right. I started suffering with manic depression for a long time. And I would feed that with prescription drugs and booze. Okay. And that will lead you on a path of destruction that you don't believe.
Absolutely. Yeah. So depression. Why do you think that people that they see you guys a good job, probably at the time you have a home and stuff, you making money and stuff like that. Why do you think people are not eager to understand depression? Because people take it as if, oh, you have this and this and this, you have a job, you have good income coming in, and you got this and this and that, material things. But why are you depressed? Why do you think people don't take depression seriously?
I think it's a product of chasing chasing something that you think is going to fulfill you, and it never does. Right. And I think not enough people talk about depression. Right. I think it's something that we've all been through for the most part. Like if you want to get look through history, right? You look Abraham Lincoln suffered from depression. Some of the most popular ministers that you ever hear of are there's a few that never got over depression. Right. You read the scripture like King David, even who wrote half the Bible, was like he's down in here 1 minute. Why are you so downcast, oh my soul, oh Lord? Right. And then he's praising God. It's like he was suffering. I promise he was suffering from depression too. Yeah. I think people are embarrassed to talk about it, or maybe there's a stigma that goes along with it. Because they will. The people will say, well, you make good money, you have a good job, you're an ingrate. Yeah. But it's really from the darkness that came over me from all them years of living so reckless. Right. I'd go to bed at night and I'd be looking up dark ceiling, and I'd be like, man, all the sins I committed, if I die at work tomorrow, I'm doomed. Like you know it deep in, and for some reason that darkness just stays with you, because you don't want to give up. Right. The ego and the sin and all the power that you have. You don't want to just let go of it. You somehow think that it's gonna make you happy, but never does.
Right. So how did you? I know you came about committing. You almost came close to committing suicide.
Yeah.
So how did that get interrupted?
That was crazy night. That story that I was so afraid to tell for a year. I didn't tell that story for a long time because I was like, man, people are gonna think I'm crazy.
Right.
They already think I'm crazy enough. So
right. I hear you. Yeah. Me too.
I really had it all laid out.
Yeah.
Just like it was very methodical how I had planned it. It was good. There was 3 triggers. If one of those triggers happened, boom, I'm not going to be around to deal with it.
Right.
So I had it all planned out exactly how I was going to commit suicide. And suicide is really it's bad in the police community.
Yes.
We're one of the highest rates of suicide in all the professions. So I got this plan laid out. I remember I wrote out a letter. I said all my final goodbyes on this letter, and it was the idea that I was it's almost like a game plan, like a football. You know, a football team would have a game plan what they're gonna do in the first set. The plays drawn out. I had it all mapped out, perfectly drawn out, and I would dwell on this plan. Like, okay, when is the right time gonna finally be?
Right.
So I'm sitting in the parking lot of Walmart on duty, and I'm going over this plan, and I'm just replaying it in my head over and over and over again because one of the triggers was happening. And
where were the triggers, if you don't mind?
No, there was one thing was a financial thing.
Oh, okay.
Well, 2 of them were like financial things.
Okay.
I was already desperate financially anyway because I had my reckless actions. I wrecked my original family. So it was costing me. Yeah. And I really didn't have much. Right. The other trigger was about a relationship issue. Okay. That was coming true right in front of me. Okay. So that really was going to be that was about the one that was about to happen. Okay. So I knew this was very, very close to the end, and I'm like, going over.
Go ahead, keep talking.
Oh yeah, that's all right. I'm scared of the dark. There we go. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good. So I'm literally going over this and thinking of, like, not to be too grotesque, but I'm like, actually, I had practiced it a bunch of times where I was going to shoot myself in the mouth, under here. I was pretty much was reserved to in my mouth, not to be. Right. I mean, it's just real.
Yeah, go ahead. This isn't on no common sense. Go ahead.
Yeah, we keep it 100.
Yeah, we do over here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I'm going over this plan, and it's like mid-January. I remember it's January 2013, and it's so cold out. It was 30 below. The reason I remember this so vividly was because there was nobody in the parking lot, and the lady that was walking in the parking lot, her hair was literally sideways. The wind was blowing so hard. And I'm like, lady, why are you in this parking lot? What are you doing? Right. So she comes right to my squad, right in the middle of this plan. I'm crying crying big time to myself. So I was mad that she came over, so I had to wipe my tears away because you could see in the Walmart parking lot, it's huge. You could see them coming from a long way. Yeah. So I wiped my tears away. She comes to my door. And she has this thing in her hand. She knocks on my window, and I roll my window down just a little bit. And she hands this to me, and it's a cross. And she says, "You need this." Yeah. And then she just turned around and walked away. And it was for real the most surreal moment that I've ever had on this earth. Right. Because here I am, I'm like literally going over this horrific, selfish, terrible plan that would have destroyed so many lives. And right in the middle of that, in the middle of this night that nobody should be out, this lady just happens to come, and I'm like, that's not a coincidence. Yeah, that's true. So I grabbed that cross, and I just started screaming out in my car, like, God, you're somewhere. Right. I know you exist. Do something. Like, I'm going to die. And sure enough, it was like he answered. Somehow in that car, I really felt this overwhelming sense that God was right there with
the
me.
whole time.
Yeah, that he had seen everything I did. Yeah. He knew me and loved me better than any human possibly could. Right. And he basically told me, stop what you're doing and follow me. Right. And just so happened that My sister works at a church.
Oh, okay.
That I never went to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to the sis.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, my sister, she's really my lifesaver.
Oh, okay.
I called her. I'm like, I know you got a pastor in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Something crazy just happened to me. I need to get in there. So she got me right in there with the pastor.
Oh, that's awesome.
Turns out he knew all about me. He knew that my sister. There was only like 3 people that knew what I was going through. My sister was one of them.
Yeah.
So it turns out that big mouth.
Yeah.
Big mouth.
Telling the business. I got one too. Telling the business. I'm like, didn't I tell you mom ain't supposed to know about that?
Tell him.
Okay, how do you know about that? I can't tell my brother and sister nothing. Okay? Ain't no water.
Exactly. Because I tell her, I yell at her. She's my brains in my operation.
Oh, okay.
But she'd been telling people around the church to pray for me. So when I went in to see that pastor, he knew all about me.
Right.
And I didn't even have to explain anything to him.
Yeah.
And he prayed with me, and he started, that's when I gave my life to the Lord.
Amen.
And he, literally mentored me from that point on.
Right.
And Pastor George Schleif, he's the greatest.
Shout out to Pastor
George. Yes, Pastor George, you are a lifesaver. The Lord used you in an unbelievable way. So that is what made, and that long story is the big turnaround, is what made me look down at my badge, and that I hated for so long, and say, you know what, I can use this to glorify God and do good. So that was when it all came together. Pastor was like about a year later, he's like, why don't you start a little group with your son and maybe his friends, because we got a gym here and nobody uses it.
Yeah.
And
I saw that,
6 kids turned into...
Ooh, you got 70.
Yeah, turned into 12, turned into 50, turned into... Like,
100.
We literally stopped counting, so...
It's a mob in there.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, oh yeah. It has gotten so out of control.
Yeah. It looks fun though. It looks like the kids have a blast in there.
But it really has turned around to just like I don't judge any of these kids.
Right.
I see them as broken just like me. So I open my doors to, I want the kids that did that shooting last week. I want the kids that I know are selling work. The kids that I know are sticking people up. I want them to come. So I'll be like blatant about it. Like, what are you doing Fridays? Like, get in here. Come and hang with us.
Right.
So no judgment out of me, because I know what I've done.
Right.
I have no position to judge anybody. So I think they understand the authenticity that's behind it. So we attract so many kids every Friday. It's been amazing. We probably average. We outgrew that church, Pastor George's church.
Oh, okay.
We got 2 locations.
I saw that. I see you promoted 2 locations. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we got the ibuprofen chapter, which is in Zion. That's my little guys. That's what we call ibuprofen.
Oh,
okay. You ever bring your paddle when you come in there and visit us too.
I'm gonna have to come in there. Like, oh boy, okay, you must be doing that.
Oh yeah. So we don't turn anybody down.
Okay.
It turned out we're not the Boy Scouts.
Oh, okay.
We have kids that they're just neighborhood kids. They come in. Sometimes I don't even know how to get in there. Like this 5-year-old, how did you get here?
My mama dropped me off. Okay.
They just
you have the snacks or not?
Free food and snacks. Yeah, that's what they do. Someone come and disrespect. They hate the police, so they come and disrespect you. Like come here for a minute, man. So, by the end of the night, they can sense how much I really care about our kids. They'll give me dap and hug me by the end of the night.
Like, feed the babies, man. Feed the babies.
Yep.
So what do you think is the issue, the disconnect between the cops and the kids? Or the community, period?
I think that the biggest barrier is it's like the us against them mentality. And I think like a lot of, and I never want to bash my brothers in blue, but a lot of them haven't seen life the way that they get it. This is what they want to do since they were little. So they've been good their whole life. They turned 21. They went to college. They went to the military. Start testing. A lot of them don't understand the other side of it. Right. Like I've been charged with a felony. I've been to bond court. I know what it feels like to be disrespected by police sitting in the back of a squad. Right. I know what that feels like. So I would never even tippy toe in the area of being us against them. Right. I've never even before I knew the Lord. This was just something from the get go that I didn't understand. a lot of, and maybe it's just it's fear, maybe.
Right.
A lot of them haven't grown up in the same area that I have. In Zion, it's actually a city that I love.
Yeah, I love Zion too. Lake County, period. Yeah. It's good to live here. I don't know why people leave. I like Illinois because I like the different seasons. And I don't know, just the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? So when I go somewhere else, I'll be like, all right, I'm ready to go home. It's nice, all right? All right, yeah, the cold, the cold, right.
But I think that's it. I think it's just there's a wall there that, and it goes with the citizens too. Like I hated police when I was a kid, so I wanted that wall there.
Right.
But I think that wall is something that you got to just chip away at in love. Yeah. Because it's very powerful when you see that wall crumble down around certain incidents. Yeah. But I mean, I think what we do is helped a lot in that because a lot of people that like for instance, I had there was a mother whose son was shot by the police, and she approached me not too long ago and at a function, and she goes, I see what you do, and I can't say that I hate police anymore. Yeah. And you know, things like that, I go home and cry like when we can see that we are making some headway. Yeah. And I think a lot of the people in my PD, they kind of jump. They kind of lead by example. Yeah. So man, this isn't dangerous. It doesn't have to be awkward. I get out with these kids and love these kids too. Right. So.
Yeah. Is it harder for you to? Is it easier for you to connect with kids than adults, or vice versa, or is it the same?
No, I think it's the same.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of the kids, I grew up there, so a lot of them are like sons and daughters of friends that I go way back with. So that makes it easier in Zion for me. But I think just showing genuine love is it just works wonders. Yeah. Like you're not going to affect me. I know people are going to hate me. I go in expecting that people are going to hate me because I'm the police. Yeah. But if you just brush it off and say, I'm not going to give you any more reason. I'm known for doing good. Right. They don't really have much to hate.
So the people that are scared of the police, what advice do you give them? You know, if they're stopped by the police or, you know.
Oh, yeah. I don't
a lot of police we don't address the police until something really drastic happens. We don't have those conversations. That's one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on the show. You are the first cop I brought on the show. But we don't have that conversation between cops. The only time we have conversations if we're out somewhere or we get pulled over or we did a crime or something like that. But we don't see the face-to-face anymore.
I'm a big advocate for police in general. Like we I don't know a cop that wouldn't die in a second to save somebody. But I can't at the same time say that all cops are very respectful to everybody because that's just, I mean, obviously it's not true. Yeah. I've always just taken it like I can be responsible for what I do and then lead by example. But it's always going to be bad incidents. The one thing that I would say in interaction is as far as traffic stops, relaxing. Yeah. The tension is what really makes everything
edgy. Yeah.
Like it does, and I understand it. Yeah. Because even as a cop now, I'll get pulled over once in a while for something I didn't do. Right. but it's nerve wracking. Right. It really is. So it's kind of hard, especially in this day and age where everything is so public. Yeah. Absolutely. But I would say the best thing is just to be cool, be friendly. And
comply.
Yeah,
that's why I do.
Yeah,
that's why I tell people. Even if you are right and they take you in, just listen.
See, the way that I always say, so I grew up playing ball, so the way that I always saw it was, okay, the ref has control of whether it's a good outcome or a bad outcome. So why scream at the ref? Right. Like why disrespect the ref? Because it may, not always, but it may come back to, okay, this decision it might go against you. Yeah. So I would just say be cool. Don't believe like all of the you gotta kind of take a look at the whole scope. Right. I think in today's society everything is so public that I think the idea, and I always explain this to my kids, is that these horrible incidents, which none should happen. Like one innocent person should never die at the hands, but the horrible incidents, if you look at the numbers, Like you can go. There's different figures, but like 50 million police contacts every year in this country, and that's a low figure. I've heard 400 million, but it's so many, and that very small percentage goes bad.
Right.
And not one should ever go bad. I'm never sticking up, and I will cry and pray with the families of the victims that of innocent people, and I think the cops that did that should be punished.
Yeah.
But if you look at the totality of all the numbers, it's a very small percentage.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go to my thing and some of my kids will be terrified. Like, man, you guys you're killing us. It's almost like we're out hunting. I was like, that's like.
It's a complicated conversation.
Yeah, it is very
complicated. It's really no answer for it.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
I would say that it hurts me so bad. And most of it, when we see something bad happen, like cops behind, one thing you'll never see is our reaction to it. We get just as mad as citizens. Like, why did this happen?
Right.
Like, what happened? We get training videos on why certain situations or why certain unarmed people are hurt. We're like, why is this happening? We get just as mad as this, but the citizens don't really see that.
Right.
But our reaction is just like yours for the most part.
Right. That's true. Yeah, because they're human just like us. I don't hate police. I just, I just feel like they should be held accountable.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Wrong, you know.
I think the most frustrating thing about it is when you see that nothing happens to like, I get just as mad. Yeah. Like justice should, if you hurt somebody and it's unauthorized or it's what do you say? You're found negligent. Then why you have to be punished just like everybody else?
You're right. Right. Absolutely.
And I say that with a pure heart because as much as I was a heathen before the Lord saved me, I've never, none of that was ever with my badge. Right. I've never hurt anybody. I've never violated anybody's rights, and I was very vocal when I seen it. I always tell them I will snitch in a heartbeat. Like, that's nonsense. What separates you from a criminal if you're going to act, you're going to take advantage of your power. Right, so absolutely. I've been a big advocate of it, and it shouldn't exist. Right. I don't know why it's ever tolerated. And it's a topic that really gets my blood boiling.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm right with you.
So tell us about how did you get started My Father Business? How did that come about?
That was just the 6 kids that day, and the next week there was like 10. We could have full court. So and then just so many kids started coming, and my sister, I told Pastor, I guess I'm married to this because it was every Friday. It's a high crime day, so it's it sure is. Right. My goal was like it evolved into the idea where I could clear the streets out as best I could. So we just opened it up for all the kids. We said, let's put a logo on it, and that took off. My sister designed this in like 3 seconds. Yeah, that's on the computer. Yeah, good job. Lo and behold, like we said, let's do some T-shirts, and the kids just fell in love with it. And they're like, we're like, this is theirs. This is not even mine. This is theirs. Right. Ultimately, it's God's, but this is not. There's no leader. We're just one big family. And that's pretty much, I paid for it out of my own pocket because I made sure everybody ate. Okay. First couple years I paid out of my own pocket. Okay. Which got pretty expensive. When you got 100 kids and people. Yeah. Who luckily I had
team is growing big.
Yeah. Luckily I had a cheap mortgage back then. And the Lord gave me the ability. Thanks for, can we plug the Little Caesars, can we plug Pizza Place in? That's the cheapest. Oh yeah, it is. So we fed everybody, and then pretty much it's just so many kids just kept coming and we kept track of them up until about 700, and then it's like, you know what, this is just too much because we have 10 new kids every week. Yeah. And then you see them grow up because my original class, Lorraine was part of my original class. Okay. They're all in college now. Yes. Yeah. They're all in college now. Yeah, I've seen a few of them. You got football, basketball players. You see them move on. Our main thing that we do, we don't just open it. A lot of people get it twisted like it's just an open gym. Right. We kind of
what do you guys do there?
We have an open gym. They'll play ball. They'll hang out. We got music going. Everybody eats. That's a big thing. We break bread every week. But halftime is the real reason why I do it. Okay. Halftime, is when we all gather around and I give a lesson, whatever the Lord puts on my heart.
Right.
I've had ex-gang members in there. I've had other mentors in there. I've had pastors in there. I've had the Judge Bridges in there.
Oh, okay.
God bless him. I love him.
Yeah.
And it just new. I've had military recruiters come and present. Special forces come. It's become just this. That's the main reason we do it. And I've seen a lot of kids give their life to the Lord, just like I did in that car. I've seen it happen in front of my eyes from our lesson, and then. From there, it's become like a 7-day-a-week thing. Like, we've gotten a nice abundance of public support as far as being able to put in for food. I don't have to pay for food anymore. We still put in.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
But it's come to, like, the young group is where the needs really come in, because I know where these families have been through and a lot of these kids go through. So I couldn't begin to tell you how many times we've turned somebody's lights on. We've turned somebody's water on. We've gotten beds, furniture. We have a lot of connections now. Kids that I know haven't been eating. We can take care of that. Kids that a lot of my kids don't have. They have to go to college, so they don't have a laptop of their own to take that next step. We could go on and on about how many kids that we've helped. We help them apply for jobs. We help them with resumes. We reference them. We just generally do everything now. Right. And it's 7 days a week. My phone is Grand Central Station. I hate that thing. It goes off 24 hours a day, but I love it at the same time.
So where do you get your motivation to keep that going? Because I know it's hard dealing with teenagers. Yeah. I know. My sister had 5. Lorraine was one of them. I wanted to hurt him many times.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I had a lot to do where he at now. Okay? His mom won't give me no.
I'll give you credit.
She won't give me no credit.
We'll give you all the credit, man. That dude.
And the other two that graduated from college. Yes. Okay, she won't give me no credit. Okay? But I was there feeding them hot dogs and stuff. Where was you at?
Well, whatever you did, Tim, it worked. Because he is a good there.
Yeah, he is.
I think the motivation is, I think the misperception is that, because we always put the happy stuff on Facebook. Yeah, nobody sees when I've kicked the whole gym of 100 kids out because they're fighting. Yeah. Nobody's seen where they've threatened to shoot up my place on multiple occasions. Oh, wow. Nobody's seen when somebody's mother's in there who's a drug addict comes in and we're praying with them. Nobody sees the non-happy side of what we do. So it's never easy. Like every Friday is like stressful. I believe it. It's fun while I'm there. I think God gives me the energy while I'm there. But the motivation really is, I always break it down to the story of Malik. And
explain that story if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
If somebody that hasn't heard the story.
Yeah, Malik was basically one of our most rowdy kids ever. And he was the one kid that we wrestled with kicking out of there. Because he fought all the time. He'd get on the phone. When he'd fight with somebody, it always a given. He's on the phone calling his cousins, hey, bring them guns. Or do something. Like this is like unacceptable. So I would always go, me and him had this special connection. Because I was always dealing with him. Right. I would always sit him down. I was a big kid. Yeah. I'd always sit him down and I would tell him, I talked to him, and I would always be able to talk him down. And we would always end that conversation. He had the best smile ever. Yeah. And he would look at me, and because he was so big, I'd always bring his forehead down to my forehead to know that I meant business. Like, come here, you. Yeah. And then he always said, okay, I'll stop. I love you, Mr. Matt. Yeah. And that's the voice I hear every day. Right. Now, his last incident was his worst incident. It was an incident where my dad got hit during a fight. And we were like, you know what, Malik? You can't come back until you talk to pastor, you talk to apologize, and he's like, I ain't coming back. Yeah. And I'm like, man. Yeah. He's gonna end up just gone. Yeah. So he came back without permission one night. And we said, you can play ball. Or you can't play ball. Right. But you can hang out with us and you can hear the message, because the message is why we do this. Right. So we sat, and my friend Judd Henry did the message that night. I wasn't able to see it because I was on call. I got called out to a death, but I was able to make it back. And I made it back. I saw Malik was there, and he looked at me, standing by the door, and he looked at me, and he put his head down. He's like, he knew I was upset with him. Yeah. But it was kind of like one of those apology things, and I put my head down. He left. My sister came up to me. She said, Malik had his best night he's ever had here.
Yeah.
He was the sweetest Malik we've ever seen. He was wrestling with the kids. He was loving the kids.
Yeah.
An hour later, he went out and he got killed. And it was terrible.
Yeah.
Because I had talked to him so much about accepting Christ, about Jesus will forgive you, because I knew he was so broken and hurting.
Yeah.
And I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, he was 18. He was old enough to understand one way or the other.
Yeah.
So a week later, I'm just crying. I was terrible. I had such a rough week because that was my baby. That's his name tattoo right here.
Oh, okay.
I loved him, and I handled it horribly.
Yeah.
I had literally, my wife put me out of the house for a week because I was just so hard to be around. I was just angry. I was upset. So I was living with my mom for a week. Back at Jones' house for a week. Thank you. So I get a call from this lady. So a week before he died, I had no clue about any of this stuff. She ran into him, and he recognized her, and he said, "You're one of those Christian ladies, right?" And she said, "Yeah, why?" And they broke down this conversation, and it turned out that everything that we have been teaching at halftime, he was understanding.
Right.
And they prayed that week before he died, and he asked the Lord to forgive him, and he knew that he was saved and was going to go to heaven. And it was like the greatest moment of my life. I cried so hard when I told that story the first time. Yeah. Because it was just such a
powerful. It's powerful.
So these kids are receiving what we're giving them. They're listening.
Yeah.
You don't always
watching
see
too.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
So that is my motivation why I cannot miss a Friday. We have to keep getting these, reaching more and more kids. I don't care how dangerous they are. I don't care what they've done. Because I have had, the reality is I have had to lock quite a few of our kids up. Kids that I love. I know they're still out there. We haven't reached them yet.
Right.
Maybe we will when they're sitting down for a while.
Yeah.
But that's my motivation. Like, we have to keep doing this because there's a million Maliks out there.
Right.
So that gives me my energy.
So how do you keep your faith as well? I hear you mention Christ and stuff like that.
How I keep my faith is I know that I've been justified after all the dirt I've done. And I was like, don't get like, I'm not some good guy.
Right.
I took full advantage of every power, every sin, every hedonistic way that you could live your life.
Right.
I took full advantage of it. And in one split second, God said, that's why I died for you. I'll forgive you. Just follow me.
Right.
And that's really what keeps me every day waking up. I'll never forget that moment, and I just want to grow in that. It's like the more you get to know Jesus, the more you fall in love with him, like who he actually is. Like not this old 2,000 years ago picture that we did. Like, who he is right now is what keeps me going. And he's the most loving, but the most, I would say, like, terrifying to stand in front of him and know that you're gonna answer for everything you did in this world. Like you'd be accountable for every deed. So that every day I wake up, I'm like, Lord, thank you for your grace. I screw up. I'm not by any means I'm not clean. I'm still a sinner. But Pastor gave me the best advice is to when you fall, dust yourself off, face the cross. So that keeps me going. I'm always in. YouTube is huge. I'm a terrible reader. So I was one of the ones that got taken out of class to go to the special because I was a dummy. Never went to college. Had a GPA probably about 1 point something. So YouTube is
it's favorite for a lot of people.
Yes. Find you a good mentor or somebody that's good on YouTube and just study. Man, what is this power that saved me? It's like a lifetime of like looking deeper into it. Right. So that keeps me going too.
That's good. So what's one thing you would change about the force?
About the force?
Yeah. The police force. Or something that's going good. You want to keep it going.
The one thing I would change is I hate that mentality, that us against them. When I see that mentality, I picture me as on the other side of that. Like these are my babies. These are my kids. Yeah. These are my people that I grew up with. Right. They're not your enemy. Yeah. if they break the law, by all means, do your job.
Right.
But they're not pieces of garbage. They're not bad people. We're all bad people if you want to put it that way. We're all sinners. The us against them is the one of the thing that I just can't stand.
Right. What would you do to change it?
I want to show
community
events. Yes, I would just show the world like I'll hear somebody bad or he did this or he did that. Like, you don't know this. You want to meet him?
Right.
I'll come and show you.
Right.
And you'll fall in love with them the same way I did because they're great kids. They just a lot of them are just misguided. They didn't have nothing growing up.
Right.
For the most part. But that's what I would change. I would love to see just more interaction. Like if I was chief of police, no disrespect, chief. I love you, chief.
Don't get in trouble now. I want to call me. All right, you took your cowboy. You still got the ticket. I paid that, sir. Okay. Matt took care of that already. Look, he used to be my parole officer. I changed my life. You don't see me? My show is hit. Okay, I always got those tickets.
God bless.
Not on parole anymore.
But if it was up to me, in my little fantasy world,
right.
I would have a pickup basketball game on every corner. There would be cops. You want to have us against them? It would be cops against the kids.
Right.
If it was up to me, we'd have a flag football game on every field in the city. We would be doing that, focusing, giving overtime for that stuff. I think that would have just a huge. That's just my little 2 cents. I'm only a puny detective.
Right.
But if it was a If I could do something like that, get to know these kids. Like we should be eating lunch with these kids every day at school. I do that all the time.
You do?
And other officers, it's picking up a lot. Like we have a lot of officers that do stuff like that, and I love it.
Yeah.
Because it used to be where you'd see a cop shooting ball with a kid in the school or on the playground.
Right.
It was so rare that this video would go viral.
Right.
I'm like, that should be every day.
Right.
And I love doing that. Like,
right.
and other cops are picking up on that.
Right.
I got so many, I could shout out so many awesome things I've seen. And we had so many cops that give me gifts to give to my kids.
Oh, okay.
They're taking on the same type of idea.
Okay.
There's brothers that I get the ball rolling. I've had meetings with in Waukegan, in North Chicago, other Zion cops. They're the county too. They love what we do, and I'm not. This is not just a me thing.
Yeah, for sure.
There's other organizations that just
I don't see that. I don't see that.
Yeah,
like you carry yourself.
Yeah.
I forgot my question. I'm gonna say a funny question.
Okay.
Well, it's not funny, but but it's like if you could solve one case.
One case.
Biggie or Tupac?
I have been so obsessed with that show. How did you read my mind? My daughter.
I was like, I watched this song. Unsolved those.
Yes,
I said,
my daughter
I know Matt watching
this.
this before our interview. I know he watching this.
I have read. First of all, I'm original Tupac fan.
Right, me too.
Like when he was with Digital Underground and he was on their EP, same song. I'm like, who is this? They called him Two back then. Like they didn't even call him Pop. They called him Two. That's how young he was.
Wow.
He was in. I remember him from the Humpty Dance video when he first started. So that would hurt me, man. I idolized him as a kid. So I studied that one. Okay. Very, very in depth.
Right.
And I think that one. LAPD, Las Vegas PD, don't get mad at me.
Oh, no.
I think that's been so overcomplicated. That was as simple as he beat down the wrong gang member in that casino that night. And they just found him on the strip. Right. And they just unloaded on him. And I think everyone has a theory. I don't think it'll ever be proven. But I'm actually, my daddy is from Vegas. So I'm very familiar with that area that he was killed in. I've been to that intersection a million times. I've been in that strip a million times. It's very easy to find somebody. Right. So I think the night that they did that in that casino, he found his guys and they said, let's go find where they're at. Because the strip is so small. You been to Vegas?
No, not yet. Not yet.
It's actually, it's smaller than you think. It's maybe a mile or two strip with the big buildings, and that's where they were at. So he wouldn't be hard. He wouldn't have been hard at all to find.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, so that big old chain.
And then there was like 20 cars following him, so it would have been obvious where Tupac was. And they just found him in traffic.
At the right time. At the right time. Yeah. So you saw Pac. Okay.
Yeah, I saw it. So
we saw Tupac case on here.
I'm still working on the big one.
Don't shoot me.
That's a good show, though.
It is. So I was like, Matt Matt watching this show before our interview. I know you know I'm for that.
Me and my tattoo artist DJ were watching that the other day. We watched like 3 or 4 episodes while he was touching me up. So.
How many tattoos do you have?
Probably. People ask me that all the time. Probably about 50 or 60.
Oh, for real?
I'm covered.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What was your first tattoo?
The first tattoo was right here, the Chicago Bulls tattoo. I got that when I was 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
On my 18th birthday. Pops, love you, Pops. He wouldn't sign the permission slip back then.
Right.
For 17 years
Right, yeah.
I didn't talk to him for 2 months. He wouldn't sign my slip. I was so mad at him. I'm still a little mad at him. I had to go. Back then, there was no tattoo shops. I'm 43 now, so that was many years ago. Back then, it was only like
1 or 2
biker shops.
Oh,
the one
okay.
on the border. And there was like 1 or 2 that you could even go to. Unless you wanted to go in a basement with them double D batteries and like a piece of glass that's doing you. So he wouldn't sign the permission slip. But on my 18th birthday, we went up and I got the Bulls tattoo.
Oh, wow.
And I haven't stopped since. So kids.
Right.
Learn your lessons. My one arm is shaved.
Yeah, I got 5. But
5?
But I do want to do the arm sleeve, but I'm scared right now.
Don't mess with people with neck tats. I see that one. That's a good one.
Don't talk about me now. I told you I changed my life. Okay.
Don't mess with
breaking up old stuff. I know with no judgment.
They will smack you down. Neck tat and hand tats. So they actually got outlawed in my job.
Oh, really?
We can't have them anymore because of me. So
yeah.
so the other guys,
Ryan,
guys, I love you guys.
You can't get no more tattoos.
No, right here,
okay?
You gotta cover them, guys. You gotta cover them.
Oh, really? Well, his is on his arm and his chest. So
and for them
he watching it and he listening. You can't get no more.
We're trying to change. We're trying to change that stigma, man. Tattoo. Everyone has tattoos.
Yeah, that's it. So
it's not. Back then, it was like you were
like people don't even dress up anymore. You can wear jeans to work. Yeah, they don't wear.
I wear sweatpants to work now.
I know you do. Okay, pulled me over a few times. That's all right. I said, this is a joke.
Out you go.
This man got Sean Jargo. What he do is pull me over. If you could describe yourself in one word, what would it be?
Compassionate. I just love people. I think the most broken people are the ones I'm most attracted to. Yeah. Simply because that was me. Right. I see them in the mirror. I understand. Right. You don't have to be embarrassed of what you did. Right. Because let me tell you what I did. Yeah. And those are the people I'm most attracted to. And so I just love showing them compassion because, God, I think it's like a reflection. Like the Lord showed compassion on me. Mm-hmm. So who am I to judge? I just love everybody.
Man. Look, man, I gotta come to that gym.
Yes,
fight them kids. I fight kids. So.
That's okay. We need some muscle. We need some muscle, Tiff.
Ask LaRock. I do put the dukes on the children. They need it. So my thing is I live by laugh, learn, and love. So what makes you laugh? Let's start with that one. Or who makes you laugh?
That actually is in my living room. Laugh, learn, love. We got that on the wall.
Oh, okay.
Me too. What makes me laugh is genuine people. I just like genuine. I don't take myself seriously. Right. I never have. Right. People that can laugh at themselves and laugh at situations is what makes me laugh. Like certain people that make me laugh. Yeah. Growing up, Eddie Murphy was the funniest human being. Oh yeah. Him. Martin's mine. Okay. My mom loved him. He watched Martin every single night.
Yeah, Martin's mine. He's so cute.
But when you can just laugh at situations in the world, ridiculous stuff, I love it. That's my funny bone. Yeah, that's mine too.
Who makes me laugh? I think my parents. My parents are very comedic. They say crazy things and just like I'll be like, what?
I love that.
How you just say They just make the whole family laugh, so that's probably where I get my comedy from them too, because they say crazy things all the time. I'll be like, where did that come from? Okay.
Like my partner, I'm gonna shout out my partner. Ken Vaughn, his son is my godson.
Oh, okay.
He's my best friend on the PD. The funniest human being that you would ever meet. Like this dude's one-liners that he can say with a straight face. Right. Well, absolutely. When I'm having a bad day, I just think of some of the stuff he said. He's so. I give you like when he said this classic line. There was like this good looking dude. It was a magazine sitting there. It was like this decent looking old guy. He's in his 40s, decent looking guy.
Right.
And he's going in on one of our partners.
Yeah.
And he said, "This is what so and so is supposed to look like." It's so bad. Like this was like he's mad about this. What it's supposed to look like. Look at it. Like stupid stuff like that. It's the funniest stuff to me ever. I'm not gonna name names.
You funny. Come on the show.
Yeah, okay, you gotta give on. We gotta give Vita.
Yeah,
I call him Vita. That's my brother.
Okay,
That's my best
I gotta
friend.
bring him on here.
He would be blasting on this show. Oh my gosh, the funniest man alive.
So who do you learn from?
Who do I learn from?
Yeah.
Human wise,
yeah. Who do you take your advice from? Who's your point one? You point two.
I have a since I went through everything that I went through with the PTSD, with seeing all the death. Like I see more people die in front of me than I can even care to count.
Yeah.
Is my doctor. He's an old wise guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like not wise guy. Like no, he's not gangster.
Yeah.
But he's an old wise man. He's got to be Doc is the best hour of my week. Like every Monday, I still go there.
Okay.
I love the Doc, and he just has the most simple advice.
Yeah.
Like he understands what I go through. He's like fascinated.
Yeah.
So I can just vent to him. I would say he's number one on my list. Number two on my list, probably my partner Zach. He's just he's been a brother in Christ for. He's known the Lord for 20-some years. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm just a baby.
Yeah.
Like I go, hey, what does this mean?
Right.
I come to him like, what is this? But he's Zach Smalley. He's one of my partners, and I love him dearly. He's been such an inspiration. He was a dude that I known for so long.
Oh, okay.
I should be terrified of him. I was like, dude, that's one of them Jesus dudes. Get away from me.
Right.
But now I go like he's me and him are.
That's good. That's awesome. So who do you love the most? What do you love the most, or who do you love the most?
Who do I love the most?
Yeah.
I love my wife the most.
Shout
she's
out
my
to
number
wifey.
one. Yes.
Okay.
Shout out wifey.
Okay.
She's been great. She's been very gracious because I haven't always been the best husband. And I failed a lot in our marriage, but for her to forgive me for a lot of stuff, she's the greatest for that, and I love her dearly.
Yeah.
I love her. Obviously, my kids.
Yeah.
Music. Music
Oh,
is
okay.
Music is.
What do you listen to?
I listen to.
Aretha Franklin. You look like you do, Mark.
I listen to. You're gonna read this part. My music. I have the most extravagant view of
Don't
music.
say that rock. Okay. End early.
I'll say it last. My obsession is, see, I'm half Mexican, half white. So,
okay.
So I have a very diverse music. I listen to Spanish music.
Okay. I love Spanish music.
I grew up listening to hip hop. A lot of it is kind of, in my own personal preference, is kind of displeasing to the Lord. But there's a faction of Christian hip hop artists. My good friend Corey Paul. He's the one who made that song for us. He's in that music video. Yeah. He's a beast. He's from Houston. Him and his and Lecrae's great. We're going to see him in a couple weeks. Oh, okay. Yes, I love that little clique. Their clique. They put on a great show. Yeah. So there, and then Metallica.
Oh wow.
Metallica is.
I grew up on classic.
Yes, me and my daughter. Metallica saved my marriage too, by the way.
Oh, okay. Oh wow, I never heard that.
I tell you, Lars, if you're listening, you guys saved my marriage. I had a real rough stretch with my wife, and me and my daughter had a real rough patch too. We weren't seeing eye to eye. Yeah. We decided, because I raised her listening to the same music as me. Yeah. And she knows every Metallica song. So last year we went and saw them in Milwaukee, and it was the greatest father-daughter date. I mean, hands down, the greatest night that we've ever had.
Oh, ain't that awesome?
Yes. I mean, my neck is still sore from doing,
right.
You got no rhythm. That crowd. There's no rhythm in that crowd whatsoever. But we knew how to do like just bang your head.
I can't listen to it though. I can't do that. No.
It's a little. My wife hates it. Yeah. But I was raised that. I absolutely love them. Yeah. They. If you look at the poetic side of it, James Hetfield's lyrics are he's dealing with a lot of what I deal with. Like he dealt with addiction for a long time and he got over it.
Right.
I think in 2003. So a lot of it is just looking back, being thankful that he's been saved and being thankful that he got over all those demons. His lyrics he's a poetic genius.
Yeah.
You just got to follow closely because you wouldn't understand.
Right, right. That's true. That's oh my God. Let's say, what do you want your legacy to be?
My legacy, if I was to die tomorrow, I want my legacy to be, here's an example of some screw up that Jesus Christ sacrificed on the cross, washed clean. And he can do the same for you.
Right. Amen.
If that was, that's really my only mission in life. Like, is to save, like, I know there's so many lost people out there, and I believe that Scripture is very clear that we're all going to stand and be judged.
Right.
I just fear, I just want to build the kingdom. I just want you there. There's an old lyric of my mom by an old artist named Keith Green. He's a gospel singer. He died in like 82, but his songs are timeless. But he has this one song that he's breaking it down. It's hard. I'm gonna cry if I say it. Don't let me cry. Right.
It's like cry on the show. I'll be like, I'm about to make it, y'all.
It's not allowed.
Go ahead.
The hook of the song goes, I really just want to see you there. He's talking about heaven.
Yeah.
And that's my life. I just want to see you there.
Yeah.
And that's what my legacy I want to be. I was thinking, like, man, I would say this to my daughters, and my mom gets really mad when I say this. Like, what if I like died in the line of duty or something? And you know, and people would say, oh, what was his legacy? And then they would look, and like so many people would know. It's like, that could be a good thing. Right? Like I'll be in heaven, Mom. And she smacks me. Shut up, stop talking like that. So,
my mom, my mom I hate them conversations. But it's gonna happen. It's reality. Everybody gonna have their day.
That is what my legacy I want it to be. Like, Matt Thornton was just a symbol of what Christ could do. So
Amen. Thank you. I thank you so much for coming.
I love it.
I'm definitely gonna have to bring you back
tomorrow.
I know I want this every day too, but Mark, you gotta pay Mark, okay? You got the bills to pay, okay? So he's a big fee. Yo, I'm just playing. But I appreciate you coming through, hanging with me. I really love what you're doing.
Thank you.
It's an honor to be sitting next to you. The work that you're doing in the community, saving these boys, you know, you are intervening there a lot of problems they can get into. Yeah. So I appreciate you stopping a lot of problems before they become a problem. I just thank you. You're a great mentor, and especially helping my nephew, because everybody knows me. I love Lorian. You know, he's my right hand man.
I will do anything.
You know, and because I always had the concept that, because in our family, not to get too deep, but they always been part of the system. Yeah. And never the solution. So I always told Lorian, you're going to college. Or you're going to the military. and one of the two. But you and I be going to jail.
I remember
that
had that goal. Yeah. I think I met him his junior or senior year. And he had that. It was instilled in me. Yeah. It was just a given.
Yeah. Because I was always with Lorian, because my sister worked and went to school and stuff like that. So I was always with her kids. But I always told them, the boys, you know, your option is you going to college or you're going to the military. Because if you go to jail, I'm not coming to see you. and I'm not funding. Yeah. I'm not putting no money on the books. I'm not doing none of that. You know, because I feel you had a great enough childhood to make opportunities for yourself. You know, your mom worked hard for you to give you opportunities to make opportunities for yourself. So it's really no excuse. So I just always push them, you know, you're not going to be one of them victims, you know, be part of the system. And you by you doing that, it's gonna be a millionfold blessing for him, because you're just gonna see it. Like that's your reward, right? Yeah, and he graduates from college this year, and I'm like, oh my gosh, overly excited because he's the first man in our family to graduate from college.
The Kleenex,
I know. So I'm gonna be like, I'm excited for him. Anything he tell me about this job, I'm like, I'm excited for you, dude. Like, you don't know how excited I am. You know.
Lorraine, come and I'll tell you all the answers to the police test.
Oh yeah.
I got you.
I know he just got to stop eating. Okay, eating these whole turkeys. He's still eating these whole turkeys. You can't eat that. You gotta put that down.
That is a big, strong. Not even a kid. I was gonna say kid. That's a big, strong man.
Yeah, he is. He is big. I always tease him, but no, I love him. But yeah, I just thank you for all you're doing. Anything I can do or help,
and vice versa.
You know, I can babysit. I can't get no money right now. I can talk to the boys. You know, string them up by the neck. You know, because I like fighting kids. That's what I do. I tell them that. But before we get the conversation.
They'll sue me if I do. You're hired.
Because I like fighting kids. I'll be like, boy, you don't want that to smoke. No, but I thank you. I'm definitely going to bring you back. Do you got anything else? Anybody? How can they contact you and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. My father's business is the Facebook page with this symbol here. You can hit us up. It's got my email. It's got what we do, when we do it. We got events coming up all the time. Also, we got parades, events. Come along. Anybody can come. I like sending 400 people out there for parades. It's so much fun. We make sure we matches. We like a big army.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm very accessible. And 911, that's my phone number.
Absolutely. Yeah. So just stop pulling me over.
Yep. I promise.
I got a new whip now.
You got immunity.
I want to thank my parole officer coming through tonight. You know, change does happen.
I've been a detective for 4 years. I don't even remember how to do a crack stop. I don't remember how.
He wiped all my tickets, y'all. I appreciate him. Okay. I thank you. Okay, Mr. Thornton. He owned all the Thornton gas stations.
Yeah.
No, he's not giving out no more.
I gotta stop by one on the way home.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank you, Tiff. I love this.
All right. Good night.